You are the only one that can change you. And today we're going to dive into 4 different sources to tie this all together. A quote from Robert Russell, a quote from Jesus Christ, and from my personal experience and from a close family member's experience. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So the first one comes from the friend of the family's experience. It's from a 70-plus-year-old lady who had a large family, and she was diagnosed with mental illness. And she said to me and to others that she didn't need to take the medicine. However, she did take the medicine because when she took the medicine, her family treated her better. So the implication is it's disregarding the idea that because the medicine helped her to change, she treated others better, and in return, they reciprocated. Which reminds me of a teaching from the Bible in 1 John 4:19, that we love God because he first loved us. It's a reciprocation process. So often I hear people say, oh, look at all the chaos in the world. Look at all the change that needs to happen outside of themselves. Change that their family members need to make, change that their neighbors need to make, change that the government needs to make, change that the world needs to make, the leadership needs to make, etc., etc., etc. All about change of other people. But the reality is, and the strong and harsh but true but beauty reality is, that you are the only one who can change you. Let's tie into a quote from Jesus Christ. Love this. The chief apostle Peter, Jesus approaches him and he says to him the following: when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. When I was a young missionary in Outer Mongolia, I thought to myself, my purpose is to help convert people. But as I recognized the study of the master over the next 30 years, that he didn't say my job was to convert people. And that's important. As a missionary, you help people in the conversion process, but you're not the converter. You strengthen your brothers and sisters where they stand. You don't convert them. That's God's power. That's the Holy Spirit. That is another person's job. But the key ingredient before you can help strengthen your brethren is that you yourself need to change or be converted. You need to turn your life over to the Lord. Then you can tap into his power. You can do more with him than you can on your own. And as a result of that, you change and you begin to strengthen others. And then, like this lady that I mentioned previously in her 70s, you take the medicine, you act different, and other people act different. You are the catalyst of changing your surroundings. Within you is the source, even God within you, to change you. And when you make that change, it's so beautiful. It flows just like a pebble thrown into a lake. It has this ripple effect throughout your circle of influence. For example, when I came home from Mongolia in the mid-90s, I observed the world. I thought, wow, there's so much chaos. There's so much craziness going on in the world. How could ever God's kingdom ever come to this earth? Then I had a paradigm shift. I thought, wow, what am I looking for? Because I'm going to find what I'm looking for. And instead of looking at all the chaos, I began to look at all the good. And the beautiful thing was, I found good. And I began to recognize God's hand in all things. So what did I try to do? I wanted to change the world. I wanted to help everyone else to change so that they can see the good too. But then I had my own challenges. Then I had my own limiting beliefs. Then I was diagnosed with a mental illness, and I used that as a limiting belief. As a victim, I have this illness, therefore I can't change. Therefore, I'm stuck. For 20 plus years, about 23 years, I battled with this. I wanted to change the world, wanted to change others, but I couldn't change. I strove to change, don't get me wrong. I strove to change. I continued to do what I was supposed to, go to church, so to speak, read my scriptures daily, write in my journal, and strive to have pure thoughts. But I had this limiting belief that I couldn't change because of the diagnosis that was given me. Then about just over 3 months ago, I had a paradigm shift. And I overcame that limiting belief and recognized that I am in control. I am the master of my ship, and I am the one who's going to change me. But I don't do it by myself, nor by the strength of this arm. I do it by tapping into God's power. And when I strive to surrender my will to his, he enables me to do more than I could on my own. And he enables me to change me. Now, fast forward 3 months later, I've trimmed down, I don't know, close to 40 pounds in the past 3 months. And I just want to give back, made the changes, and I'm seeing the results in my life. And it's so beautiful. It affects not just me, because all ships rise with the rising tide. And when you, as an individual, turn to the Lord and change and allow Him to work within you, it has ramifications that flow everywhere, that flow into your family, that flow into your business, that flow into your neighborhood. And He gives you access to not just the form of His power, but actually have His power, not just to do good things, but to be good. Because you get not what you want, according to James Allen, you get what you become. And the only way to change the world is to change you. So, in conclusion, I'd like to end with a quote by Dr. Robert A. Russell in his book. It's called You Can Get What You Want If You Find It Within Yourself. And this is what he said: when the inner mind has been changed, then the outer effects will change accordingly. And it all starts with you. How do you change you? You change you by changing your thoughts and turning them to God, allowing the divine nature within you, as taught by Peter in 2 Peter chapter 1. You let the divine nature within you begin to flow and to radiate and to change your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, and you become more like the Master, the wisest of men, Jesus Christ. Then you have access to His power to change, and it changes everything. Thank you.